thought what we wrote was pretty good. But 2 years later, some of us said, maybe we weren't clear enough about the limits on government powers, so we passed 10 amendments. First, Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech or of the press. I'm glad we have a First Amendment. It made my career possible. It allowed me to expose bad guys who cheat people. Once in the days before home pregnancy test kits, I had a female producer take my urine to 6 abortion clinics. 2 of the clinics said I was pregnant. They would have gone ahead and given my producer a fake abortion had she not first said, no, I've changed my mind. I then confronted those doctors, played them the audio tape. 2 closed their practices and disappeared. Had I not recorded them, though, they would have just lied and said it never happened. I needed that recording to prove the fraud. Another example, a chemist who made cosmetics told me often both the cheap and expensive stuff comes out of the same vat. They're all made by the same company in many cases, and the company admitted it.
We manufacture some part of just about every line in the country in different packaging that's being sold by Calvin Klein, Stage Light, and Mono.
She said we could buy any of the colors for only 18 cents and put our own label on the package. Would we then have the same stuff as Pirate and Calvin Klein and Stage Light?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to vary the ingredients.
In other words, if you paid more for Calvin Klein, Elizabeth Arden, Estee Lauder, you were suckered.
Our consumer editor, John Stossel, has reported on cosmetic companies which would have you pay higher prices for imagery.
Without the hidden recording, consumers wouldn't get the facts.
You got them from us only because we went undercover and because one retired chemist would talk.
Without the hidden recording, we couldn't have gotten you the information. I won this Emmy for that report, but these days I rarely do hidden camera investigations. My employers discouraged it. They feared being sued. And frankly, I went along because I hated the secrecy behind it. I was always scared that the crook would catch me and break my legs. But James O'Keefe isn't scared. You probably know him from his most famous undercover sting. He and a friend pretended they were prostitute and pimp to catch workers for the advocacy group Acorn talking about how to hide income from illegal activities. Then he went on to catch a national public radio executive pandering for money from a fake Muslim group and claiming the Tea Party was seriously racist. So, James, you're lucky America has a First Amendment.
Well, I mean, it's pretty remarkable the pressure we've faced, the legal trouble we've gotten into. We've been falsely accused. The government coming after me for using false pretenses, lying to federal government officials, two-party consent laws. So people need to understand that there's not very much of a First Amendment in this country when it comes to citizen journalism and undercover reporting. Well,
let's talk about some of those cases. You were doing a story on Senator Mary Landrieu, who there were reports she wasn't answering her phone, so you posed as phone repairman. So I guess that was against Louisiana law.
I suppose we could charge all of our politicians in Washington with entering their buildings using false pretenses if it's nothing more than just, hey, I'm fibbing about my intentions for being here. These laws are designed to protect people protect the government from being defrauded, but I'm an investigative reporter who uses undercover methods. I don't actually intend to commit fraud. I intend to have conversations to uncover them committing fraud.
Still, America's better than most every other country. I mean, even Canada, which we think of as a free country, where they do have sort of a First Amendment with an asterisk, but people get prosecuted for criticizing Muslims. I mean, here I can say President Obama's a liar. The chairman of Google is pandering to foolish lefties on global warming, and they can't do anything to me. You got in trouble, and I was threatened plenty of times on this two-party consent law, and you had to settle with Acorn for $100,000. Explain the law.
If I'm filming an Acorn worker, he has to give me consent, or I need to be in an area where there's no expectation of privacy. My critics like to use this Acorn $100,000 lawsuit as evidence I'm a liar. But that lawsuit was over invasion of privacy, whether or not a government-funded employee has rights to be recorded or not. It had nothing to do with defamation or lying about him. And by the way, David Korn of Mother Jones magazine won a Polk Journalism Award for filming Mitt Romney in Florida, which is a two-party consent state. So
yeah, I think
journalists love that.
Let's remind the audience of that clip. This was taken by a left-wing bartender and given to Mother Jones.
There are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled, and they will vote for this president no matter what.
So Mother Jones wins a POLITICO award for that. They didn't do anything except take it from this guy and run it. But you get prosecuted.
Yep, there's an incredible amount of hypocrisy in all these whistleblowers. Daniel Ellsberg is a hero. Julian Assange is considered a hero to some. I admire
not so much.
Things about Edward Snowden, but these people are considered heroes. But we do the same thing, and we do get attacked for it, and that's unfortunate.
I've been attacked for it in Baltimore. We exposed a crooked doctor, and I was told, don't go to Maryland or you'll be arrested. The 12 states have this two-party law, and like Maryland, California, Illinois, I suspect there's more corruption in those states.
Absolutely. Illinois just recently, their Supreme Court overturned a portion of the law, and people say, go to Chicago, James. Well, I can't actually do undercover work in Chicago because of the laws there. The Attorney General of New Hampshire actually tried to issue me a criminal grand jury subpoena for exposing the fact that dead people can vote.
You used hidden cameras to show how easy it is to commit voter fraud, not just in New Hampshire, but several states. But before the last election, he had people try to vote using the names of dead people.
Hello. Do you have a Reynolds Karen on your list, please?
Karen?
Do you have a Roger Grew? Do you have Paul Susie?
Could he receive a ballot to vote without showing any ID?
And right. Democratic ballot. There you go, Mr.
Oh, I've left my ID in the car.
You don't need it.
New Hampshire passed a voter ID law after you did that expose.
It was literally lighting the flames of democracy. The House of Representatives in New Hampshire passed a law. They cited this video. The people were outraged that ballots were being offered in the names of the dead. What did it do? It embarrassed the governor there who opposed photo ID law. So what did he do? His attorney general issued a subpoena, a criminal grand jury subpoena, because we embarrassed the government. We showed that you could vote fraudulently using dead people's ballots, and this is how they treat citizen journalists in this country. They try to arrest you, they try to jail you, they come after you, they use intimidation. Instead of solving the problem that our undercover reports show to be wrong, they just try to attack the whistleblower.